What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by once again. This is ARCa coming at you with a GTii, Technicals and Statistical Threat of Analysis. Before we get started, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video with a friend so that you and them could join our trading community ARCab on Discord. With that said, let's go ahead and dive right into the charts, you guys. Okay, so we're looking at GTii in the immediate short-term time frame, you guys. This is the hourly chart, and we are looking at a descending broadening wedge, you guys. So as you can tell, we have now made test number 1. We have test number 2 and 3 down here. I'm actually not even going to bother with that so that we don't take the time, right, you guys? So we have 1, 2, and 3 of the golden rule of 3 thing that I talk about very often, you guys. Usually after test 3 of a resistance, we're looking at the biggest capitulation phase and accumulation, if you will, before a continuation onto a true breakout of test number 4. So if we're looking at just raw price action for now, you guys, looking at these long wick candles, you guys, in all red, and looking that we're making a series of lower lows and higher lows, this is typically not a good thing for the asset just for now, right, you guys? But there are some bullish statements that I would like to point out for GTii. So let's go ahead and move on to the next chart to see what we have. So okay, you guys, so within the 3-day chart, I have noticed that we are riding a massive ascending channel. And the reason why I drew this cup and handle right here, you guys, is just to be able to see if we are in fact following market geometry, you guys. And this trend line right here is actually taken from the highest point of the cup to the lowest point of the cup, and then placed at the top of the cup to see if we did imply that target. As you can see, we definitely reached it, and we used this line right over here, you guys, right at the top of that trend line, the price objective. We used it as a form of support before a continuation onto the upside, thus testing the resistance of the channel. Now for the channel, we do have 1 and 2 tests. We still need the second test of the channel bottom in order for us to validate that we are within it. Now, some people may argue that we have already touched it. This could be 1, and this could be the number 2 right over here, you guys. So we are still now. So if it is the case that we have 1, 2, so then we are for sure within this channel. The first and a second test would be short-lived downside moves, followed by a third test, which would be the strongest capitulation event, you guys. So there is the potential to where test number 2, the downside of test number 2 would be the short-lived downside. It's a temporary pullback before an actual reversal into attempting and testing this bottom area, likely in the next coming weeks or months, you guys. So but for now, we still have to play out what we're looking at, and we definitely have to look at what we're doing in price action as well, because we were doing a series of higher lows and a series of lower lows as well before we actually broke out and made a difference in, or a change in, market structure right over here, you guys. So we have now made a higher high based on this iteration right here, and it looks like we could potentially be just facing some downside before a continuation to test that number 3 test to the upside, you guys. So this is what I'm looking at so far, but the metrics statistically also give us some pretty bullish outlook for now, you guys. So new listeners, new viewers, what we're looking at right here is volatility, represented by this indicator BBWP. Volatility is direction neutral. We usually pair it with a momentum oscillator like this indicator to gauge a bias in direction, right? So I would like for you to notice that I drew this trend line here so that you can see that we're currently facing what could be a trend line regression rejection scenario right here. Now on the 3-day chart, this is massive. So this is a macro perspective. We are suggesting a continuation onto the downside, which is in accordance of what I'm telling you about facing a temporary pullback followed by a test number 3, right, you guys? So that could be in the cards. Now, these green lines that you see and the red lines that you see, I've actually taken note. This is a back test, okay, you guys. So this is usually how I trade. I trade based on a system, a method. So every single time we have reached the critical high, meaning above the 90 percentile of of expansion, you guys. This would be critical expansion and the bottom would be critical contraction. I have taken note of those, and I have since taken the duration of the iteration, the upside thrust based on the contraction level from those critical highs, and the amount of times that we got the iteration correct to the upside versus incorrect, you guys. And these are the metrics that we found. So with a total of 11 iterations, you guys, we have correct guesses to the upside that are 7. Now incorrect we have 4, so because we have 7 out of 11, we get an upside accuracy from the momentum guessing the upside of a 90% of the time. So if it's suggesting a downside continuation, I do give it some weight. It's not perfect, but it is 90%. It is pretty damn close to perfect, you guys. So I am giving this some weight that we are continuing to the downside. The averaged upside accuracy based on those iterations to where we have started a contraction phase from these critical highs is 68.63% with an averaged upside thrust of 3,202.47% over the span of just over a month. So, and this is proof of work, you guys. So what I'm looking at here, you guys, is bearish at the moment. Now, if we were to put that 3,000% to the upside, you guys, we're looking at $88.08, which is also confluent with drawing a trend line from this point to this point, and from whatever the firing of the signal was, which is right down here, which is right here, you guys, and that gives us the firing of the signal here. So we're looking at a potential move that's confluent with that trend line at $88, but this is also over a month away on average. So there is the potential to where we can actually capitulate hard and face a downside move to test possibly the lower areas of if we're looking at the fib that we have right over here, you guys. There is the potential that we can test the 4.618 at $1.32 in the coming days, potentially week or two, and then moving on towards the upside, we could potentially do one of those crazy rallies that we just recently faced and do that 3,000 move to the upside, the 3,000% move to the upside. Some of those iterations do cater that, you guys. This iteration here, based on the contraction level, was 1,600% to the upside. You're looking at 1,000% there, 300% up, 297% up. This is crazy iteration here, you guys. Now, there are only 11 iterations, so we do have to consider that. Also, you guys, I'm not a financial advisor. I can't actually suggest for you to buy or sell any assets. Consider doing your own DD and we'll be okay. Please take whatever I do say within these videos as a form of entertainment. Okay, you guys, now let's go ahead and gauge a bias and direction for the immediate short-term time frame, you guys. What I was going to say is that I usually tend to bet, a heavier portfolio amount when we're looking at 80 plus iterations, 100 plus, right? So that we can have some real numbers backing the upside move. 11 is good, and we're doing pretty good so far with the iterations, right? But still, you guys, we definitely have to keep this in mind. GTii has a psychological component behind it, you guys. Yes, definitely good catalysts all over the place, but we definitely have to consider the technicals and the data within this within the metrics and within the price action, you guys. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to that bias and direction. 12-hour RSI right here, you guys, that we're looking at. We have found 1, 2, 3 primary drives of phantom bearish divergence, you guys. So we have since started that downside move based on these 3 strong drives of phantom bearish divergence. So it's very much in accordance to what we're talking about, continuing on to the downside, potentially testing that 4.618 at about $1.32, you guys, and continuing on to the upside. So now let's open up a multi-pane to see some shorter time frames for the coming session. Also, keep in mind, guys, that we do have some economic data coming out. We have CPI on the 10th. We have midterms on the 15th. So we are going to see some indecision in the charts for now, you guys. Let's look at the immediate short-term time frame. 30-minute RSI is suggesting sideways, like I said, indecision. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the bi-hourly. This is going to be the bi-hourly here. Okay, bilaterally also sideways, you guys. So we are looking at a potential sideways trading day. The only reason that I would be slightly bearish in this is the fact that we have jumped into the bear strength percentile. Now, new listeners, this is a regular RSI setup. The upper half is your bullish control zone. Bottom half is your bearish control zone. This is a bull weakness percentile, bear weakness percentile. We have bear strength and bull strength. Okay, so we are suggesting sideways trading. On the bi-hourly, the 6 hour is also suggesting sideways trading. There's a really heavy amount of indecision, you guys, and this is also suggesting some sideways trading as well on the 12 hour, you guys. So if we were to consider a long trade, I would not actually recommend for us to go in just yet, you guys. It looks like we still need to solidify a potential drop down here, you guys, and I'm not sure if we can actually test this, but there is a possibility to where we can wick down to that 280 level right down here before a continuation onto the upside and immediate recoveries. That's something that Wyckoff theory calls as a terminal shakeout or a spring. So I think this is a pretty good place for me to leave off the video, guys. If you have any questions, please visit me on Discord, visit me on Twitter. I'll make sure to leave the links in the description below for you to consider joining the trading community ARCa on Discord, you guys. With that said, I wish you a good night, and I will catch you at the bell. Adios.